Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan, alongside me for the first time in what feels like quite a few months is that Retro Code Eddie V.
I'm back in the building. Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Oh, jeez. Well, Ed, it's been good having you on the show. We're going to have to ask you to leave.
Oh, no.
Why are you being so loud and obnoxious? Like, bro, it's a Saturday.
What?
It's Ed. Look at him. Look at
I'm
that.
glad to be with you guys. I'm thankful to be with you guys.
Also joining us is Exodus 803 PC Muscle Race himself, LeRon.
What's
Dawkins.
up?
And down in the lower left-hand corner of the video is Galutrad, Jacob Taylor.
What's up, everybody?
And we have a special guest from Block's Games Reviews. We have Block here joining us today. Hello, sir.
Well, happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm glad you're here. I feel like this has been like a couple weeks in the works here.
We had to have the stars align.
We did.
But they did. It's just going out of town, and so, Christmas and New Year's and everything going on. It's hard to plan anything.
Yeah,
this past year.
Those pesky holidays are, ruining our podcast schedule. So, jerks. So, how's everyone doing? Everybody doing okay? Everybody, it's been I know
it's been a day, a week.
It's been
an interesting week.
It has
been a year.
Yeah.
You were right?
A week that felt like a year.
Is it 2022 yet, guys?
I mean, it was literally like 6 days into our year. Well, no, 5 days into our year.
Yeah.
We kind of started the year off really good, getting a lot of gaming news and stuff, definitely with Nintendo. And then Tuesday with Georgia, with their runoff and getting 2 Democrats in the Congress, that was just like amazing. Everybody was happy. And I know we're going to get into a little bit of what happened Wednesday, but man, the roller coaster in just 1 week of just everybody around the world. Like it's very weird that we go from a really good high, hoping that good stuff is coming out for gaming that we can all enjoy and everything, and then it's just that little moment on Wednesday that happened.
Yeah, it's last night or the last few days actually have just like on Tuesday or on Wednesday when it all happened, it was really just. It was really just an eye opener for a lot of people. I feel like that this is very, very real. This is happening. This is very, very real. This is really what's happening. And Josh and I talked a lot about it on Tower Casuals on Thursday. And we even discussed not even having a show because of just to kind of give attention to what needed to have the attention, but
and the process and all of that.
Yeah, and we were just like, you know what, we want to talk about Destiny. It's our first show back of the year. We need to address our community not just Tower Casuals community, but the Boss Rush community as a whole, and we're going to do that today too. And honestly, the audio versions of the last couple episodes will probably be out of order because I feel like this needs more attention right away than. Because usually we record a week in advance, and it goes up. If you're watching live, you're watching it live, but it'll go up 8 days later on podcast feeds. But you'll probably see this out of order because this is too important to and we don't talk a lot of politics on Boss Rush, really. We sometimes we do in our group chats and kind of bring it up here and there, but I feel like this is really beyond politics. It's literally, not to sound super cheesy or anything, but this is literally good versus evil, really.
It kind of going last year, stuff like this kind of led to our Black Lives Matter panel for the first time and other stuff. And now seeing what is going on now, it's kind of an eye opener about why gamers need to talk about politics and know about politics, because if you just block it and you do not seeing it for what it is, you're not going to understand why people from different communities are speaking out about things and speaking out issues and stuff. This affects all of us. Like, if of course this is in some sense definitely a racial thing, because looking at what happened to the Capitol building, for in case of people don't want to, don't want to memorize it or anything, the Capitol building got kind of terrorized in the sense
Attacked.
by
It was attacked.
It was attacked. It was attacked.
It was attacked, okay, by some protesters who I'm glad that a lot of news sources are now calling them domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
When it comes to
They should have been doing it from the beginning, though, to be fair.
Because a lot of times when white people don't do this, and no disrespect to you, Galatribe, Block, or Corey, when a lot of white people do this, they never get called that. Any other race would be called.
It's not terrorists. There's nothing to be offended by. It's because it's that, like, not to try to bring some humor into it, but it's that Family Guy meme, right, where they hold up the shade, the skin tone shader, and said, "Okay, not okay," type thing, right? And it's like, just because these people were not brown, they were not called terrorists. I guarantee. Look, I warned my wife that I might get a little bit heated at the beginning of the show today, even though my kid is, it's nap time. But I said, look, and I heard this on MSNBC the other day, and this video was going around. I guarantee you, if these people were the same color as LeRon and Ed, they would have been mowed down like fucking animals. And if they were Muslim, they would have been taken out by the military snipers above the buildings of the Capitol. And there was a viral video going around today about like what was happening. The police opened the door for these people, and they said you can't. And they stood there, and they said you can't be in here, but still let them walk in. You can't be here, still let them walk in. They started coming in through the windows and stuff. The only thing I saw that was any attempt of keeping these people back was when you saw the Secret Service agents in the doorways of the chamber pointing the guns out the little window. That's the only thing you saw.
And the bad thing about it is when you look at the videos, people are taking pictures and smoking and just celebrating. And it's just like, what are you doing? I thought this, okay, I can understand you guys have the right to protest because you want Trump to be president. You want to stop the votes and all of that other conspiracy nonsense that you want to do. But you are in here acting a fool. You are in here looking like clowns, and you are not offending us, but you're offending America in general. Everybody went to the polls and did their voting. If y'all was so wanted to have Trump as president again, y'all should have went out and voted.
Exactly. You should have had the numbers of the turnout and everything, and that's basically one of the things because I've had conversations with my roommates. I live in a very diverse household. Like, it's me, a black guy. I have two Asian people live in the house with me, and I have a white guy in the house. We're very diverse, so we can sit down and have conversations like this, and and everybody have a general understanding, stuff like that. But it's insane. It's insane to think that. Honestly, like 2020 was a flip of 2016 because 2016. Nobody was going to vote because they were like, there's no way in hell Donald Trump's going to win. And for everybody that didn't go out there and vote,
That's what I said, right? Like I said, oh, well, I've never really like been into politics. I'm like, there's no way this dumbass is going to win. Like, there's no way. There's no way. And he did. And then it became very real, very slowly that he was winning. And then the first little bit, I was like, okay, this guy's an idiot. But then it grew from this guy's an idiot, this guy's a whack job to this guy is dangerous. This guy,
yeah.
And even within the last year, it's like this guy's dangerous too. This guy's deadly. This guy could do something very dangerous to. And we saw it. We saw it on Wednesday, right? We saw it.
When he said to the Proud Boys, stand down and stand by, that was already we knew that he was crazy. We knew that he was racist and everything. But when he said that, we didn't know that it would go to this level. But we should have been prepared that it would go here. And the scary thing about it is that definitely for the black community watching all of this, it's just like you guys said earlier, we would have been shot, we would have been pepper spray, we would have been maced, we would have had everything. A photo op happened where protesters got got tear gas so the president could take a picture with the Bible wrong. And
Yeah.
the National Guards and everything at the Capitol building didn't do nothing. They got pictures. People are already making fun of the person climbing up a wall. They put the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild stamina on it.
Mhm.
They put like sound effects and stuff. Like they're clowning people, but I'm like, even though you're trying to make this funny, this whole situation is not
It's
funny.
it's
Well,
not.
that's
no.
well, that's the problem. That's the problem with internet culture, and I've had conversations about that. But going back to the main topic, like, listen, like, here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. Like, they're really quick to call somebody non-white a terrorist or
Yeah.
a criminal or a thug or whatever. But the moment they turn around and do and trust me, like, what they did was honestly any Black Lives Matter, protest times 25. Like,
yeah.
that's because here's the thing about it. Like, okay, so like some Black Lives Matter activists have, gone and stormed, Civil War memorials and stuff like that. They technically do not represent our government. The Civil War stuff, that does not technically represent our government. That's basically museum history, But you guys actually went after actual seats of power, actual buildings that actually mean something to our government structure. Who's the terrorist?
Mhm.
When the Senate's they're in session. They're in the building. And
What?
people's lives are at stake.
That's the other thing too. What happened that day almost quickly turned into a designated survivor situation.
Mhm.
Yeah, they went in with
we could have
guns
wound
and
up.
everything.
We could have wound up with a whole new government because everybody could have died, and we wouldn't have had a Senate. We wouldn't have had part of Congress. Hell,
The vice president.
if Mike Pence was there, we wouldn't have had the vice president.
And
Like-
guess who
thing
would have
is-
been left in power?
The thing is too now is like, I mean, how do you swear in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris now? You can't do it on the steps of the Capitol building. You can't do it. You can't
cannot
do it. They're gonna have to be sworn in a bunker somewhere.
Yeah.
With the military guarding them, pretty much. Like that's what they're gonna have to do.
And
And you know what's crazy about that? The only time that happens is in a time of war.
Mhm.
That's the only time stuff like that happens. But what do I know? I only served like 6 years in the United States Armed Forces. What do I know?
the thing about it is that, for us to see law enforcement not do anything, to the National Guards even saying that they refused twice or something, and like after everything happened and they walked everybody out, now they want to put everything in, and now they want to capture everybody. Now there's been 15 federal charges, and 5 people lost their lives.
Which is fine if like, okay, you want to go after these people and arrest these people, that's fine. But this comes after the fact that how many black people died or got shot or got injured this summer during protests just for walking down the street or driving their car to work, or like I told Ed this the other day, and I just like, I'm tired of worrying about my friends who just want to go down the street to get down their driveway to get the mail. And when you're like, when a cop drives by, like, I told this to Josh on Tower Casuals too. Like, I worry about you guys a lot, especially the last year, right? Like, and it's not, I'm not just saying that because like, just to say it. I'm saying it because like, I care about you guys. You guys are my friends, and I worry about just because you're a darker shade of skin color than I am, that means something's going to happen to you. And like,
like one day we might not be around for a podcast.
And like, how am I supposed to explain this to like my nephews who are black, right? Like how is this going to affect them growing up? It's look, I just want to say this before you go, Ed. Like,
go ahead.
I am really embarrassed, and I am really sorry to be part of a race of people who thinks, not everyone, but it seems like a loud majority of people these days who think they're better than you because of their skin color. And I am like really embarrassed, and I'm really sorry. I'm sorry to Ed. I'm sorry to LeRon. I'm sorry to Ray, to Ash Says Hi, to Cam Hawkins, to everybody we've ever worked with, to Ray, to Zombie, to anybody we've ever worked with or not worked with, just the entire slate of people who are darker than I am. Like, it's embarrassing, it's appalling, and like, I'm sorry, like, that's, I don't really know how to like, and like, all I want to do is like help, but I don't know how, and it's very frustrating and upsetting that I have to worry about you guys all the time because of this.
Standing up is the first step. Just standing up for us, standing up for women and stuff who've been degraded. Just standing up for somebody for the right thing that should be happening is the first step. Speaking out is going to come up next, because the thing about it is, if you're saying this and you truly mean it and you show your actions and you stand with us, that is proof enough. People don't realize that when you go through a situation like another race is, like, sometimes there's been videos that everything that black people have been going through, they'll make a white person go through, and those white people will cry and realize that I didn't know all of this was happening. What happened Wednesday really showcases what the disgusting thing of racism is, the disgusting things of injustice, of indecency. We let these people let these white men and some women go into a federal building and act like and be terrorists. None of in history from any other race has done that, and to some white people that is acceptable. To us as Americans who pay taxes, who got a variety of friends, diversity, the backgrounds, the sexuality, whatever, we don't have that privilege. We don't have that acceptance. We don't stand by what happened. Because if we believe in equality, if we're going to be saying the Pledge of Allegiance, if we're going to be living by the Constitution and stuff, we are supposed to be treated and seen as equal.
And silence from white people or people higher up, that's showing that you agree with something. If you're not speaking out against, and if you're not using your privilege, your power, your whatever you want to call it, your platform, you're just saying, it's not important enough for me to spend my time on. And that's been the problem for decades, for generations, and that's what I feel, the past probably 20 years or so. It's slowly on issues of race, of gender, the gender gap, the gender equality, for sexual orientations, and all of these social issues that we are seeing white men predominantly, at least, acknowledging and speaking out and using their platform to talk about these type of things. Because if you don't talk about it, you things don't change.
I think people don't realize that when you look at Far Cry 5 and certain white people were getting upset, I'm like, this happens in this country. This idea happens.
It's funny. It's funny because as Block was talking about it, the first thing that came to my mind is like, listen. Well, the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, right before all this happened, the president, and I'm going to call him the president. I am, because he is the president. He was elected the president. The president gave a speech, and there was already people out there that were planning to march onto the Capitol and demand a recall, demand an overturn of the election. Which, by the way, I told my roommates and a couple of my really close friends, if they had somehow overturned this election, and I know how I voted, if they had overturned this election, I guarantee you, like 99% of my faith in the country would have been lost immediately. Immediately. So
but the fact that 74 million people still voted for this motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Everything that you're saying, everybody would have felt that way.
Right.
What you just said, everybody would have felt that
way. Exactly. And you know what? Hey, you know what? Me saying what I just said just proves that, I voted for Biden. I voted for the other guy because guess what? This guy we had, in my opinion, didn't do anything for our country. Yeah, I have people who tell me day in and day out, oh, well, the economy didn't tank. So that's one thing. He made sure China this, and I'm like, yeah, he pissed them off in the process. He pissed off the European Union in the process. He gave
some college people McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, he's sitting here giving the speech right before Mike Pence, is supposed to go with the rest of Congress to go ahead and confirm the vote. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? He's radicalizing people. But guess what? Because it's white people, we can't say he's radicalizing because radicalization is not a word you're supposed to frame with white people, especially white people in America. Mm-hmm. But I guarantee you, they don't really say radicalization for American citizens either. But I guarantee you, if it was people from Cuba, they're radicalized. People from the Middle East, they're radicalized. People from these other countries, they're radicalized. They're not Americans, so they're radicalized. They're going to do terrible things. American lives are going to be lost. You know what? In my opinion, this was like a second 9/11. In my opinion,
you know what?
That's how I felt.
Yeah, you know what? What really pisses me off is every speech that I heard someone from Congress say, "This is not America. This is not America. This is not what we do as Americans." I'm like,
what country are they living in?
I'm like, fucking yeah, it is. Have you not been living here the last 4 years? And like,
exactly.
that's
some of them have been serving. Some been serving 30 plus years. That's as
long as I've been paying attention because of not only mine and Ed's friendship, but just like, just talking to people and trying to get more, not involved in politics, but understanding a lot of things mm-hmm. about politics. This is happening. This is America. And guess what? I have no faith in this country right now. None. Zero. 74 million people voted for him. And when he's out of office, right, he's starting this digital media empire or whatever, 74 million people are going to go follow him. He's like, I heard this again on CNN and MSNBC watching this. They're like, you better hope to God that there's some sort of plan in place for a second civil war, because it's very possible that it could happen.
I was talking to you, Corey, that I even told LeRon, I said I'm going dark because I wanted to keep my mind positive while at work. And Corey knows I don't cuss at all. I don't cuss that heavy. And that whole day, I literally was just dropping F-bombs. I was just like, this is some stuff. Because I'm just like, this is craziness. This is lunacy. And this is over some conspiracy votes that the courts have shown that they have no evidence. Mm-hmm. That fraud.
There's been no evidence whatsoever for the last month and some change. No evidence. Like, I guarantee you, if there was one shred of evidence, the courts would pay attention to it. The courts would pay attention. Not just the courts. Like every law body in the land would pay attention to it. But there's not been a single drop of evidence yet. And you guys, but you know what? But then again, we always play off assumptions anyway. I mean, it's the reason why I walk into a freaking pharmacy store and get followed around by the management. Mm-hmm. We run on assumptions all the time.
It's so funny because that group is claiming that they want to they want to believe in the system. The system is working. That's why everything that they challenged, presidents challenge elections all the time. It's not anything new. So everything that they challenged got declined because it wasn't real, and they're buying into the lies.
So my question is to them, and excuse me for saying this, where the fuck was y'all at on voting day? Yes, we did our early voting. We sit in our invoice. Or even on the day of voting, we was in the fucking line ready to vote.
Here's the problem. 2016 gave them a lull. Like I said, people didn't turn out to vote the way they should have. So they thought automatically in 2020 they had the superior numbers. There was a figure that went around that said some, I don't know the exact numbers, but it said an insane amount of black people alone had not voted since 2012. Mm-hmm. Which means they didn't vote in 2012, they didn't vote in 2016, they didn't vote in any of the midterms or any of that stuff. A glaring number. I'll look it up later. You know, like I'll maybe I'll tweet it out on Boss Rush Twitter. If it, I don't know, might make our Twitter page inflammatory or something if I do. But anyway, a number of people did not vote since Obama's second term. Which means, and that number meant they did not vote in the second term. Also, they didn't vote for his reelection. You know, so no one's voted since 2008. Mm-hmm. So this gave them all this false sense of security when, like, basically the White House was handed to the president, and they're like, "Oh, there's not that many people. There's no way we could lose the vote." So they probably did turn out and vote the way they were supposed to. But you know what? Was it 75 million?
70. I think it's 74 point something.
Okay, we'll round up 75. Okay, so we know for sure 75 million people voted for Trump. There's probably a small percentage that voted for independence. There's probably a small percentage that voted for independence. But guess what? So I'm gonna say, let's say another 5 million voted for independence. So we've got 80 million accounted for. Mm-hmm. Where do you guys think the other 230 million votes came from? Mm-hmm. You know, you got, you know what? I'm gonna speak a little personally here now. 75 million y'all versus 230 plus million of us. Who's the minority?
75 million.
Who's the minority?
Mm-hmm. My thing has always been, when it comes to voting, don't always assume that, oh, I'll let somebody else do it for me. No, when everybody said your vote counts, your ass better be in the line ready to vote.
Well, people don't really know that because our education system has been backsliding since the 90s. People don't know that, and then we have people like Betsy DeVos like trying to run the education department, and she ain't teaching the goddamn thing.
She fucked everything up.
You know. So yeah, we've got more uneducated people out there, and you know what? You know, that's maybe a harsh word, uneducated, but guess what?
It's not wrong though. It's not wrong. It's not. It's not.
Exactly.
Look, I've always been in the mind, if you say something that's factual, like if it's mean, it doesn't matter. It's still a fact, right? Like it's still a fact. You still have to accept it. And like a lot of things that are taught these days, or you know, the way people kind of sugarcoat a lot of things, like sometimes you just need the straight facts, right? And like, if they offend someone, if they're mean, if you're offended by it, it doesn't matter. It's still a fact, right? Like,
yeah.
Like well, it's not like Germany sugarcoating what happened during World War II, right? They're not like I have a friend who lives in Germany. We've been friends for almost 20 years, and because he was an exchange student at my high school. We've been friends, and he's like, have you ever read a history book? Germany is super embarrassed by this, but like you do have to move on from it. But like, you know, and I'm not saying we have to move on from this right now, but like it's about rebuilding and relearning and re-educating what's happening right now. We take those steps now, so in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, this type of shit doesn't happen again.
Go ahead.
Then I would give it to you first, Jacob, before you go around. This is eye-opening. This is history, and people in school are going to see all of this. This is going into a documentary for the last 4 years of what America was like at this period of time.
That's if they allow someone to write those books.
Oh, someone's probably. People are already probably writing them. They're probably already documented. Trust me, probably by the end of the year or next year.
But what I'm saying is, will they wind up being like actual literature that we will wind up reading in our schools, or will it just be something that's pushed in the back of like public libraries that we have to go hunt and search for? The stuff needs to be in our attention 24/7. It needs to be in everybody's schools, whether you are pre-K all the way up to graduate level college.
I think with so much videos, it's so much interest. The president's Twitter account. Like someone's making a book of the president's Twitter account. That's gonna probably be out. It may be the Daily Show.
But what I'm saying is, you know what? As a 45-year-old black man, like you know what? This is an eye opener for me. I'm 45 years old. I finally last year understood what Juneteenth was. Guess what? That shit ain't in the fucking history book. And I've been to a lot of different schools, because I'm an Army brat. So I've been to private schools, I've been to public schools, I've been to Department of Defense schools. Never knew what Juneteenth was. Never knew the actual symbology behind it. I just thought it was another fancy thing black people want to celebrate every year.
I live in Texas and have grown up in Texas, and I didn't know what Juneteenth was.
Yeah, a lot of my
I didn't know what it was.
In Texas.
I still don't really understand what it is. Like I only heard that term for the first time this past year. You know,
Same
and that's I mean, a part of that is my own ignorance, but part of that is like I didn't even know it existed. So like how do I look this up if I don't, and
they don't teach it, or
no, they don't. I mean,
they don't.
I can't look. I grew up in a primarily white town. And when the first black person came to our school, the first thing everybody said was, "Oh, he's going to be great at sports." And the second thing was they all had side racist black jokes for him. Those were the two things, right? And like,
welcome to America.
Yeah.
I just want to say this is like, I hope that, here, what we're doing here with Boss Rush Games is showing that we care about this subject, this very real thing that's happening. I hope that, just from a personal standpoint, I hope that I'm using the platform, my platform, our platform, as a voice of inclusion and good people, and really as an educational platform when things like this happen. I know I need to do a better job when things like this don't happen to still get the message across that, Black lives do matter, women's voices matter, LGBTQ communities matter. Like, this stuff matters, and I've done a pretty terrible job when things like this aren't happening of doing that,
But you know what, Corey? It's the first, and you're not going to get everything perfect. No one's going to get anything perfect until it happens. You work it, you learn it, you take feedback, you find out what to do right and what do not to do next time and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I still don't know, that I'm still working and learning and stuff. Corey, I come to you on a daily basis trying to learn stuff and figure out stuff on a daily basis, because I feel like if I'm going to be able to help our community grow, just to help show what Boss Rush is all about, we got to work with each other. We got to learn from each other, and they will see that in the community. Just the message that you put out, just the stuff that you allow us to do here on Boss Rush, and stuff that you're still gathering and learning. It's a big step. We are, a lot of video game communities and podcasts and stuff are now just grasping that.
Well, you this is the second time you mentioned it, and the thing is, okay, so video games are our greatest escape from the world. It is, when this stuff gets overwhelming, we immediately run to video games. We do, and I'm not saying that's wrong behavior or something like that, but I remember, I can't remember. It wasn't even a historian that said this, but the easiest way to repeat past mistakes and injustices is to ignore it or run away from it. Stuff like that.
There's a time for escapism, and there's a time to pay attention. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pandemic, a time to escape. This type of thing is the time to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, by the way, to any of our listeners in Texas and stuff, you guys see the tomfoolery that Ted Cruz is on. Why didn't you guys get rid of him when Beto O'Rourke was running? Oh man. Pay attention to that. He's an insurrectionist. Marco Rubio's an insurrectionist. Who's that one guy that
Josh
Yes, that guy, the guy that was giving the freaking fist pump, outside the grounds of the Capitol building when all this was going down. Insurrectionists. And I'm the patriot here. Like, I've served and bled for my country. These guys, I doubt they've even gotten hung up on a barbed wire fence for their country.
And the thing about it is, these are people who are representing your state, representing you as a state in Congress, and that's humiliating. That hurts me, because I know, Jacob, you're not like that. LeRon, you're not like that. Block, you're not like that. Corey, you're not like that. We have people who are representing us in Congress who are trying to do the right thing, and then we have these buffoons acting a clown fool. And it's crazy. I'm like, you're supposed to be representing the state. Even if I didn't vote for you and you're supposed to be my voice, this is not my voice when you do mess like this.
Here's the thing. My whole thing here is, if you're a good person, if you do the right things, if you are accepting of people and really just being there for one another and being kind and everything, you're allowed to do things here. You're allowed to be here, right? This isn't a Democrat versus Republican thing. This is a good versus bad thing. And if you support anything, this is personal, right? If you support anything that happened this past week, if you support anything that happened this week, you are not welcome here. You are not here. I don't want you here. I don't want you hanging out in our chats. I don't want you commenting on our videos. I don't want you listening to our podcasts. I don't want you here. It's that simple. Our mission here is to be better. That's our saying. That's our flagship motto is be better. Be better people. I said this on Twitter and I'm going to say it again. I'm paraphrasing a friend of the show, Cam Hawkins, who works over at DualShockers. It costs absolutely nothing to be kind to somebody. It costs absolutely nothing to respect someone for who they are, what they do, accept who they are. It costs nothing.
It also costs nothing to block a jackass on social media.
That's also true.
Well, that's something that I think a lot of people struggle with. But like something that I've been trying so hard for the past year to wrap my head around is it takes so much effort to be a bad person. I've made it almost 29 years of my life not killing anyone, not raping anyone, not doing anything of that sort. It takes so much effort to go out there and be a bad person. You can just exist and you would be considered a good person.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. That is true. No, well, unless you suffer from any type of prejudice, like you don't just go out there and think that that this person is out to do you any type of harm. Whether it's like take your money, take your clothes, like physically harm you, stuff like that. I don't automatically think. I've seen some rough people in my day. And I don't ever think that this person that I'm crossing paths with on the sidewalk is going to do something to me. I don't ever think that. I have a lot of friends who say I'm the most naive person in the world, especially for a black guy who's 6'3", 238 pounds. I actually look like I could, destroy somebody. But it's one of those things. Like I don't throw my weight around, and I don't assume anybody else is going to throw their weight around.
Exactly.
So
final words.
Yeah, final words. Look, I know we spent 55 minutes of this live show talking about this. Block, I'm sorry that this is your first episode, but this is something important that I feel like as a community, as a team, as people who we have a lot of people that work with us here at Boss Rush, and it's important to discuss, and I want to make sure we do better this year of leading the charge of not just being accepting, but really pushing the world forward and being accepting, right? Like it's not just about video games here. It's not like, this is our escape. This show is our escape from the weekly pressures of life to come here and have fun and talk about video games and shows that we're watching and whatever else we want to talk about here. We should not have spent 56 fucking minutes talking about this dumbass who pretty much waged war on our capital. This is not what I want to do on Saturdays during my free time, right? This is not what I want to do, but here we are. And I will make it a priority for us moving forward to not only accept everybody who works with us, but pushing us forward and just being a better place to be.
Yeah.
Well,
We want to make it a place of acceptance and everybody having fun, but we're not going to accept if you are prejudiced, if you want to discriminate, if you just want to be hateful and doing all of that stuff. Don't come here. This is not the show for you.
Here's
the place for you.
Here's the statement, and I don't run Boss Rush games, but I think this statement kind of works. Don't come into our space, to be racist. Don't come into our space to sexually harass any of our individuals, whether they be man or woman. Don't come in here and do that. Don't come into our space thinking you can just be an asshole and make your opinion the only opinion. Guess what? We will talk and have the conversation because we're a community, but we're not going to accept anyone that's a bully or is just a plain outright idiot. We want to accept that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not our space.
Like a ghetto mama will say, sit your ass down somewhere before it becomes a problem.
And I think that's really important in gaming because of how competitive the space is and how historically a lot of gamers have excluded people that were not like-minded in a way.
Mm-hmm.
People are noobs. Oh, it's a girl gamer, a booby streamer, whatever. And if I lost, I'm going to call you every name in the book, or you're whatever. And that's not right. It's not been right for a very long time. It's a reason why I don't play too many multiplayer games unless I'm with people I know, because I just don't want to hear that crap. It's tiresome. It's immature. It's not healthy. And so this kind of conversation, it's really important that more gamers need to be having to be seeing the world that's outside of their game room.
Mm-hmm.
The way y'all jumped on Gamergate should be the same way y'all jump on this.
Yep. Yeah.
I
agree. So
to kind of wrap up this conversation, I see it in the Twitch chat, but I'm going to use it here anyway. And also, I've heard this a lot. My grandma used to tell me this all the time, and I don't think it's a very uncommon thing for someone to tell someone else is treat other people how you would want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And we are all here to be better. So, with that, I suppose we could transition into video games, right? That's why we're here on Saturday, right? So,
absolutely.
I'm gonna jump into. I haven't even opened our Google Doc yet because I'm so just.
As we transition, though, thank you to everyone who sat there and listened to us and was with us on the Twitch chat for this.
We have one of the biggest turnouts for Twitch, by the way, right now for this show in particular. So thank you to the 10 to 15 people who have been popping in and out to listen to this.
Yes.
And I also want to say that for my first time, again, Corey, you don't have to apologize for that to me. I taught history at a college level for a few years, so I'm comfortable with this. This is something that I'm used to in many ways. So yeah, it's good discussion. I'm just sorry I couldn't contribute more.
No,
that's all good.
No. Don't be ashamed.
Right.
There should be no more apologizing on this show. This, by the way, everybody, this is the Boss Rush Podcast, the flagship show of the Boss Rush Video Game Podcast Network. Each and every week we come together here with our friends from around the internet to talk about video games and other things and everything we love about them. You can find the show on podcast services, on YouTube and our website every Monday morning. If you like the show, remember to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or wherever you listen to us. Check out our entire family of shows on BossRushGames.com. LeRon hosts our PlayStation show. Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast. Ed and Jacob are on Nintendo Power Block. I'm sure you'll be showing up a lot more in some respect somewhere. Because
I'd hope so. I'd like that.
We welcome a lot of of friends on the show. So I'm also host Tower Casuals, our Destiny show, and Arsenal X, our Xbox podcast. Boss Rush Entertainment's also out there. You can check out LAN Party and all that stuff. I just want to plug everybody's stuff. LAN Party, Rope Talk, Trash Talk. I know Logan's got a few other things in the works, like the Office review show, which is going to be really interesting. So I want to thank you guys.
Galatrad and I might be.
Shout out to the Monster Hunter show coming up.
Exactly.
Oh, you got is Galatrad gonna be just diving in there?
I want him. I want him in.
Nice.
I want him. Where's that fan art?
Oh my god, that's gonna be a meme come Monday.
Oh god. So we're gonna jump into what we've been playing. Block, since you're the guest, and I feel bad for you not talking as much. We're gonna go your way first. What are you playing this past week or month or whatever?
Forever. So I just started Octopath Traveler. I've been waiting to play that, and it went on sale, and I was hoping to get it for Christmas, and I didn't. So I got it for myself for Christmas, right after. And I was going to start that Wednesday, and then all shit went down. And so, like, I would play for about 5 minutes, and then I'd look at the screen and go, "What the hell's going on?" So I'm enjoying it. I'm about 10 hours in. I have 4 of the 8 travelers. I just finished Dark Cloud 2 for the PlayStation 2. I'm going to be doing a review of that here in about a month. That had been on my backlog for a while, so got that taken care of.
Add those Yoshi coins, Ed.
So that's 4 Yoshi coins because Dark Cloud was published by Sony.
Oh, well, there you go. So I finished Dark Cloud recently. I finished Fire Emblem 3 Houses on Tuesday night.
That's another 4 Yoshi coins.
Well, hey, I'm going to rack up on these.
Block's already in the lead.
And then I mainly play my Switch when I'm watching my 15-month-old as he terrorizes my house. And but I can't record Octopath for whatever reason. It won't let me. It's like, this software can't be recorded. I'm like, okay. So I have to play it on my TV, which is fine. So I just started a kind of a budget title, Goblin Sword, that I got for like $1.
Yeah, I got that on Switch too. It's a cool game.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It has a, my first thought was something like Castlevania or, those 16-bit type of action.
I was thinking of Sega's Master World, Wonder Boy and Master Land.
Yeah.
It has that appeal to it.
Yeah, and it also has an old PC platform, getting like Jackrabbit, those type of games. It's very simple. A little bit of Wario Land too, because there's a lot of concentration on just finding treasure. I'm enjoying it for a 99-cent game. It's going okay. And then lastly, I've been playing for about 2 months now, very off and on, Titan Quest on my PC.
Oh man, old school.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm trying to cover a large range of games, but right now I've fallen into mainly RPGs. It's just how it's lined up. But
there was a rumor. There was a rumor that there was a remake happening of Titan Quest. I
think it's on Switch. It's on Switch.
Yeah,
I think so.
When I started it, I had it on my the anniversary edition on my PC for a while.
Yeah, that's what I had originally.
And so I started that up, and then like a week later, I was at one of the I was at Meyer, if you know what that store is, and they had a lot of budget games that they were throwing away. And I was looking through the bin, and and then I saw Titan Quest on Xbox One, and they had it on Switch. I was like, what? Like, I didn't even know they were on there, and apparently they are slightly remade updated versions. They're different from the anniversary. So there's 3 versions of Titan Quest out there.
Oh,
Which
wow.
one am I playing? This would be one of those. Tune in and guess. It's the anniversary. and lastly, I'll be starting this coming week Star Fox Adventures on the GameCube.
I do not like that 4th dungeon in that game. Ugh.
I've never played it. I've had it for a while. It'll be on my Treasure series, where I look at lesser known games to see how do they hold up. Are they even
don't hold up?
No, Star Fox's Adventures is amazing, and you shut your mouth, Ed.
It absolutely is amazing.
We're going to have
You shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
No.
Not while the non-Nintendo guys on here though. Like save that for Palpatine.
Yeah, this seems like a Pal Block conversation. You shut your mouth.
So, yeah,
That's exciting.
what I'm playing right
I'm
now.
excited for you to play Star Fox Adventures.
I'm excited to get into it. I turned it on to make sure my copy worked, and
As long as you're not going in there expecting a Star Fox game, it's a good game.
yeah, well, 20 some years after the fact, I don't think I'll be too disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be on me if I was.
My Nintendo 64 box still has the Dinosaur Planet art on the back of it,
Oh wow.
which is awesome. Man, you played a lot. I feel like I'm underprepared, and I thought I had a lot to talk about today.
I'm sorry.
Man. So, LeRon, what are you playing?
All right. Let's start with let's get the big one out of the way first. Cyberpunk 2077. I'm playing it on PC right now. That is one of the current games I'm playing right now. I'm tackling the Final Fantasy VII remake on PlayStation 5 because I don't have a PS4 Pro, so there was no point in getting it back then. On Switch, I am playing Fire Emblem Three Houses right now, and I would be doing everybody a disservice if I didn't at least say I was dabbling in the Monster Hunter Rise demo right now. So yeah, I'm diving into a whole bunch. Well, I'll be diving into a lot more of it today, and to round everything out. I'm also playing a mobile game called Teppen, which is published by Capcom. Is basically a card game, so think of Hearthstone and Yu-Gi-Oh and all that stuff. It's got the Capcom franchises in there, so it's fun. It's been my time waster when I don't want to have a console or a controller in my hand, and that's pretty much it. I can't wait for Monster Hunter. I can't wait.
Can I say thank you, LeRon, for giving me that link to get the collector's edition? For, Rye.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, you're welcome because it's no longer available for pre-order.
What's in the collector's edition?
It's the $99 bundle. You get everything the deluxe edition has, plus you get the Magnamalo amiibo, which is actually different from the one that's actually going to be on sale to the general public. Mm-hmm. Like I like the amiibos, and I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I didn't pre-order it then, but you know what? I have a funny feeling I'll be able to get that amiibo. Probably won't spend much more than $40 for it. So I think I'll be all right. I just need to make sure to keep my eye out for it because I do like the Monster Hunter amiibos. I got all the ones for the original Monster Hunter stories.
Mm-hmm. I'm so jealous.
Mm-hmm. I downloaded the demo for Rise. Finally, so I'm gonna try to play it a little bit tonight. I might stream it tonight, actually.
How are you capturing the content? What type of capture card do you have?
I have a Elgato HD60S Plus, which is I have the HD60S because the S Plus has 4K 60 pass through. This one does not have 4K pass through.
Okay.
So I'm. I have my Switch dock hooked up. I have 3 Switch docks. I have one in my living room. I have one in my office, and I have one in the bedroom. So,
well, given that they're phasing those out, can I buy one from you?
They're all out. They're gone.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I walked into a store and I just happened to notice. I was like, hey, they don't have Switch docks anymore.
Yeah.
That's because the Switch Pro's coming.
It is.
Or the Ola. I think that's what the code name is right now.
Yeah.
We will not discuss that.
Yes, we will.
I will just pull Dan back on our show and we'll talk about it there. It'd be the Crossroads. It would be the Crossroads Nintendo show that day.
The official Switch dock is still up on Amazon right now.
For
You
how
can
much?
also-
It's
how much?
full price, $100.
I'll send you the link. You can buy it directly from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or you can buy the what? Hold on, this isn't right. Why is it showing a Switch dock here it's 50?
For how much?
It says $55, but there's no.
On Amazon?
Yeah, there's no cords with it. It's just the dock. It's $55.
Oh.
Oh,
You would have to buy an AC adapter for $20 and an HDMI cord for however much money.
Oh,
So it's technically cheaper, but
I'm an IT guy. I have a multitude of HDMI cables.
I know. I mean, I'm not an IT guy, and I have a multitude of HDMI cables.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, there's about 6 of them laying on the floor under my feet that you can't see.
Wow.
So.
I have a shoebox full. There's about 6 or 7.
Yeah. So I'm. Yeah. HDMI, man. Gotta get those
new AV cords.
No, you gotta get those new. Yeah. Speaking of AV cords, I have like just this big Tupperware thing downstairs, just full of just composite cables. That where did these come from? What are they even for? You know, I mean, I'm like, I have one set for my NES that I don't use anymore, but why do I have 40,000 composite cables? So. Is that all you're playing, LeRon? You don't want to talk about that Monster Hunter Rise demo at all?
Oh, well, I mean, I do, but we don't want to waste the entire show of me geeking out about Monster Hunter. I mean, Jacob and I can take over the rest of the show.
We have 2 listener questions, and one of them is games we're looking forward to that have been announced. Maybe we'll just talk about it there.
Okay.
So, Jacob, what are you playing?
Well, I'm playing Monster Hunter. No, I'm playing the Monster Hunter Rise demo. I am playing more Immortals Phoenix Rising and Animal Crossing still every single day, but Immortals Phoenix Rising I talked about a little bit a couple weeks ago. It wasn't really fully jiving with me because it felt like a Ubisoft game that just wasn't quite there yet, and they'll make it into a series, and then on like the second or third game it'll be perfect. But man, the more that I play that game, the more that I want to play that game, the more that I wish I was just playing that game. I just released Aphrodite, and I've been kind of running around collecting all the collectibles in her area, and I'm about to today after the podcast. I'm gonna stream, and I'm gonna be going towards the next god to rescue.
Where are you going to stream that at?
At twitch.tv/Galatrad.
Subscribe,
Nice.
follow, click the heart.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Hit the heart, hit the notification bell. There's not even one
I need
of those
to
ones.
I need to add you to our auto host list for Boss Rush. You might be there, but I need to add you there.
I appreciate it. And then I've also been playing a little bit of Pokemon. I recently, just before the year ended, I beat the main campaign of Pokemon Sword, and now I'm starting to like dip my toes into the DLC.
Nice.
And I'm having fun with it. I've got my little kung fu bear thing. I named him Dijon because you get him from a guy named Mustard. So that's great. And then I've also been playing the original Super Mario Brothers on the Super Mario Game & Watch that was released for the 35th anniversary, because my claim to shame is that I've never beaten any of the original 3 Super Mario Brothers.
Are you for real?
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I've never beaten them, and it's so funny because like my girlfriend, we were laying in bed, and she just like booted them up on the Switch for like
Online.
whatever, the
Yeah.
Switch Online
Yes,
virtual
online.
console thing they have, and she beat all 3 of them, I think, in like one sitting that evening. And I'm like, I still haven't.
Whoa! She's
Yeah.
hard. She's hardcore.
You
I
need to go
still
change
haven't
that.
beaten them, man. So
Maybe
yeah,
she-
I know.
And maybe
I'm
she should be
working
on
on
this
it.
podcast and not you.
I know she should. She deserves it. But yeah, that's my claim to shame. So I'm trying to get rid of that so that I can be a Nintendo fan again.
Are you doing all 32 levels or?
Yeah, that's the thing is because like I still have never even beaten it using the warp pipes, but I'm trying to not do any of the warps or anything like that. I'm trying to just go through every level and experience everything it's got to offer.
Did we have this discussion? I might have had a discussion. People could easily beat Bloodborne, but they can't beat Super Mario Bros.
Yeah,
it's
man,
so funny.
You know, I can say I've beaten each of the classic Mario games without without using the warps once. I've only beaten them once in a straight playthrough. Every other time I played, it has been with the warp zones. Like I refuse. Like there's, like Mario 3 by itself is redonkulous.
It's so fun though. That whole game is so fun.
I think that once you beat the full game all the way through without any warps, that's what the warps are for, right? And you can be like, oh well, I want to jump into. There was no level select, so I want to jump into World 4, just get through these first two.
Even though I will say Mario 2 is probably the one I had the most fun with by just playing it front to back. You know, it's like it's only 3 zones per. Yeah, it's 3 zones, right? Yeah, it's only 3 zones, so you know, like they simplified it, thank God. But you know,
the game where you barely use Mario throughout any of the levels.
Yeah.
But
that's what I've been up to.
Nice.
The first Mario was the first game I ever completed. I was about 5 years old.
Nice.
Back when we had the patience for that stuff, like nowadays, like I don't have the patience for all that stuff. Like, wait, I jumped on this Goomba and a spiny dropped on my head. I don't have time. Just turn this crap off.
I don't even remember the last game I completed, to be 100% honest with you.
Destiny?
That doesn't count, dude.
The last game I completed was Miles Morales.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's my goal this year, is to complete some games. I think the last game I fully beat was like in February or March of last year. I think it was like, I don't know, Hellblade or something.
Hellblade, yeah, I think
something,
it
or Gears 5 might have been. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But Ed, what are you playing?
So for Xbox One, I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077. But I also picked up Tell Me Why, and Hitman 2. So I will be playing that.
I also bought Hitman 2, and it was on sale this past week.
That was a really good sale they had.
I think I bought the gold edition of 1 and the gold edition of 2, which I guess if 1 is totally playable in 2, and actually when 3 comes out, all 3 of them will be playable inside 3 if you own the first 2.
Are you doing it on Xbox for
yeah.
for him? I might do the Switch one, because I still want to do Switch control.
The streaming one? Hitman 3 stream thing?
Yeah, I might actually do for Series X and Switch, because I still want to get control for a Switch and see how that is. It felt so smooth for that
Dude, it
demo.
was so smooth. That streaming stuff was so smooth. I was floored. That game, the control ran better on Switch for me than it did on Xbox One X. I'm just gonna throw that out there. It was.
I've heard that.
Dude, that's because it was the magic trick of using somebody else's servers.
You're right.
Someone else's hardware was running it.
You know, LeRon, you're right. I'm not debating that fact, but
exactly. There's a story on Nintendo Life about that. It was really good.
I don't know. Just cloud gaming just kind of scares me, especially like Switch's cloud gaming. It kind of scares me because, you know, it's like you know, you spend this money and then the servers can be taken down, and you lost your money.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are just shocked that it's happening. You know, that big games could come to Switch like this.
Also, I think I don't think Nintendo's ever going to go that way fully, right? Like, I just think it's a way. I think it's just a way to get these third-party games on board for now until the Switch Pro comes out in April, which I will be in line for. But
Nintendo's going to do what they're going to do. They're going to release a next gen console that'll be playing last generation's games.
That's how they've been doing it since the Wii. So I mean, but to be fair though, I played through Doom 2016 and Wolfenstein 2 on the Switch, and it was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Fine is the key word.
Fine.
So, PlayStation 4, I'm doing Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I am at Midgard. Well, no, me and Aerith is about to go into the Wall City.
Wall Market.
Yeah, the Wall Market. We're about to go into there. That game looks beautiful. Music is so good. Oh, go ahead, LeRon.
I was about Final Fantasy 7, the remake. I played so much of the original Final Fantasy 7, and I understand that like her name in that game was a monumental typo. You know, but I have the hardest time saying Aerith. I just say Aerith because it just flows off the tongue so much easier.
I actually re-downloaded the original Final Fantasy VII to Switch because I've never really fully engaged with that game. So my first Final Fantasy was 9, and then I went 9, 10, 8, 7 was the order I played them
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You need to come. I've been meaning to ask you, Corey, when you come to Crossroads, because one of the things we do all the time is they bait me into talking about how much I hate Final Fantasy VIII.
Thank you, LeRon, because I do too.
I love Final Fantasy VIII. It's
that's for me, and it's just that one's my favorite just because it came out at a time where I was an angsty teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And and I was really a loner, and Squall really appealed to me in that way of just trying to find friendship and trying to fit in and trying to do all of this. And so but I can understand the criticisms, but for me, it impacted me. I think it was just a game for the time. Like it was for the time, so I got a lot of nostalgia from
I think for me it was like the weapon system and the junction system.
Yeah, the
like,
junction
it wasn't
system.
The characters.
The junction system really is not great.
No.
Also, it has the worst side quest of all time.
Which side quest is that?
The one, I think it's the one to get the Ultima weapon for.
Oh yes.
Where it's like it's like a 100-step process.
Ooh,
yeah.
So I thought you were gonna say the card game. I'm like, no, shut your mouth.
No. I love the card game.
It's incredible.
That is the redeeming quality of that game for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to be installing Yakuza Like a Dragon for PS4. Going to be hopping back into also Spider-Man to get that. I've been wanting to play Neo also because a lot of people have been playing, and I'm like, yeah, I need to work on this.
Well, that special edition comes out soon, so.
Yeah.
For Switch, the Monster Hunter Rise demo, Streets of Rage 4, I've been jumping into. I picked up Among Us. I am working through Paper Mario: The Origami King. And man, this game, I'm so lucky that I made it my game of the year. But you guys will have to watch Nintendo Power Block because Jacob, Dan, and David was floored. You have to watch the episode to understand why. That was just a mind-boggling one. But yeah, Paper Mario: The Origami King, and I brought this because this is the Ori and the Blind Forest collection.
Is that the Switch one?
Yes, this is the 8-bit one. 8-bit. So this one has
stained glass.
The stained glass. A book, and it has the physical versions of Ori 1 and Ori 2.
Ooh, that box art's really cool looking.
Yeah.
Yes. And then it has this pin also. I'm surprised that I got it because I did get noticed that a lot of people were going to get their stuff delayed due to the pandemic, but they've been working really hard trying to get it out, and it just showed up. And it's a really nice box. I have the Ori 2 collection also on Xbox. So I really wanted to show this because I'm very happy. And then I'm getting Shadowcast for Switch later on. Last but not least, Bionic Commando for PC.
Right.
I can tell you this, LeRon. I use my my Pro controller. I think we talked about this. I use my Pro controller for it. I might need to play some more PC games like this using the Pro controller. I was just like, I was having fun. I wasn't having no problems. Really enjoying this game. So I would be doing that. Last but not least, also playing Transistor on Switch. And I'm still not feeling it. I really think that Hades is just so much better.
I think Transistor
is their new game. That's why.
Yeah, and Transistor was like their kind of move away from Bastion to try something new, and you know, I mean, it hit for some people. I mean, I feel like Transistor is still one of their most, I mean, controversial is a strong term, but you know, like that's the one that people are most divided on. I think is Transistor. I think a lot of people really liked Pyre. I think Bastion is still really high on a lot of people's lists, and obviously Hades, a lot of people love it, which I actually downloaded for Switch finally, but.
And I gotta finish Bastion. I got it on Switch also. Last but not least, also I'm streaming Mega Man X. And man, I may have to rebuy this game on PS4 or Xbox. I mean, or on Switch, because I do not like the Xbox controller for these Mega Man games.
No.
Yeah. But I am doing that. I was showing Dan, because Dan never played the Mega Man X series, and he wanted to see. So I was showing him a little bit about that. So, but that's all I'm playing for right now.
That's all.
That's it. Ed always brings like a list of 47 games to the show, and I'm just like, I'm going to go take a nap while he's talking.
You should have seen Crossroads.
He edited Crossroads.
And I had like 35 games.
Well, for me, I'm still playing Destiny. The last major content drop of the season happened this past week. Haven't started it yet, but I've been playing some Iron Banner, and they have really cool helmets this time around. So I'm trying to get that helmet for my Titan. So, but the Ascendant Hunter quest has dropped, which is there's a lot of theories about where this is leading into the next season of Destiny. So it's Tower Casuals are going to be very busy and very lore heavy the next couple weeks. So you can just check that out.
I did enjoy the latest episode. I really like the lore. You guys were talking about were really, really good.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks. You mean what Josh did, and I was just like contributing in small ways.
Well, I was enjoying the conversation.
I love Destiny, but the way Josh talks about Destiny makes me feel like I am incompetent on every level to even be on that show.
You love the game, you love the experience. And that's good enough.
That's fair. I've been playing Cyberpunk. I'm trying to wrap that up so I can move on to something else. Talk about a game that opened with such a bang. Like the intro stuff was so great, and then like kind of the Johnny Silverhand mission in between was good.
Mm-hmm.
But just some of the stuff I'm doing now just kind of feels like go here, press a button, shoot some guys.
Starting to feel like ultimate filler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm just like, I might turn the difficulty level down and just blow through the main story at this point.
And that's what I was going to ask you, LeRon. Are you doing a lot of the side missions, or are you getting to a point where you just want to finish the game? Because I don't know if
I'm an explorer, so I do all that crap. I am. I just waste so much time, playing games. Like I could have probably already been done with Cyberpunk by now. Like I got it as soon as it dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where like if I'm going to play this game again, I'm going to wait for the Series X and PS5 patches to and try to play it somewhat differently, or wait till the DLC comes out or something. It's not that I'm not enjoying my time with it. I just really like I'm ready for it to be over and move on to, because like I still have Assassin's Creed, I still have Immortals I want to play, I still have a couple of these other Game Pass games that I really want to play. So I still want to finish the Hivebusters DLC for Gears, which I'm an hour and a half into, and it's only 3 hours long.
I need to. I think I need to reinstall Gears 5 because I really want to play it. I heard a lot of good things about that DLC.
Yeah, it's good. It's not like the greatest thing Gears has ever put out, but it's like a nice distraction with more Gears. If you like Gears, but you're into like the wild, dumb side of Gears and not the storytelling side of Gears, this is perfect for that. So the characters are wild though. They're cool. But on Switch, I'm actually playing. I've been playing a little bit more of Immortals, Phoenix Rising. I'm not very far in. I do like where that game is going. But Jacob, like you said, I probably should have purchased it on Xbox and not the Switch. But it was on sale on Switch, and I had a Switch gift card. So
what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
can't go wrong with that.
Plus, I can play it in handheld mode, and it, I'm actually playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So I just got to like the first kind of main area where you're going to explore and looking for Gramps, and then the scene with Gramps happens, and that's where I'm at. It's probably like 4 hours in. Probably less than that, but I like to explore like the towns and stuff. So
I've been wanting to replay it for some reason. I don't know why. I've been getting that Xenoblade
I know.
itch, and
Well,
I almost restarted it, and I said no, I don't need to add another 100-hour game to
I just need to grind and finish it. I think I'm halfway through. I don't think I'm close to the end. Just need to grind to finish it.
I haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 either, but hearing that thing with Gramps happens makes me think that I don't want to play it because I'm going to get all sad.
It's not. It's actually, well, all right. Well, I don't care. Spoilers for a 4-year-old game in the first 3 hours of a 120-hour RPG. You go down and you do this mission, and like some people kind of screw you over, and you have to fight them, and then you get blasted off, and you like. Gramps is the Titan that you live on, right? You have a house on his back, and he's basically like your mentor and your best friend or whatever. And he ends up, dying, right? But
no, it's not sad at all.
No, but but instead of dying, like he's like an elder Titan, so like he reverts back to his quote unquote larval state, and he becomes this little like cat type thing that follows you around. And then
it becomes your mascot companion.
Yeah. So he's like it's just like this really comedic moment where Rex is like crying his eyes out because Gramps died, and then he turns into this little cat monster thing. It's just really funny. He's like, I saw you crying. He's like, it's funny. It was really funny. He's like, how long until you turn back into the big Titan thing? And he's like, well, judging by the state I'm in now, nothing short of like 350 years. And Rex is like, 350 years? I'm going to be long dead. Where am I supposed to live? So it was pretty funny. It was cute. So that's where I'm at in Xenoblade. But the last two things actually, Super Meat Boy Forever. I've been playing just like 1 or 2 levels before I go to bed.
Should I pick it up?
I mean, if you're into so Super Meat Boy is like a super challenging platformer. This is the sequel to that, but they turned it into an automatic runner. So you're always moving, and you have to it's more of almost like a rhythm and a puzzle game than a platformer. Okay. So if you're into, puzzle based platforming games where you're always running, then yes, I would pick it up. If you're not, then I wouldn't. I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's one of the best games I played last year. And I'm still playing it, but it depends on your preference of platforming is all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then lastly, Ed, you'll be happy to know that I have started. I've restarted. I was looking through my Switch games list, and I'm like, what game do I really need to finish this year that I was really excited for and never finished? And that was Shovel Knight King of Cards. I'm finally playing through King of Cards, so
yes.
That's kind of it. That's all I've been playing. We do have a couple listener questions here. Where'd the doc go? I deleted it. Look at me.
I got it, Corey.
I don't care. No, Ed. No. No. You can email the show at bossrushgamespro@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at bossrushnetwork or join our Discord. We're really pushing our Discord this year. We want that Discord to grow. The link is in the show notes. If you are listening on podcast services, just click that link. You'll be invited in. Join the fun. It's a good time. It's also in the links on all of our Twitter handles. So go check it out. Real fun. Our first question comes from Ashley Davidson. She says, hey guys, what big franchises do you think will get major announcements in 2021?
Let's see, Legend of Zelda, Metroid.
Those are all announced though.
There hasn't been anything concrete, I don't think, for any of those.
They're in development.
Yeah, Metroid's going to be a long time because they're getting their new buildings. They're still gathering talent. Well,
if you talk about Metroid, there could be an HD trilogy or a Samus Returns Switch port or a weird
2D game.
Yeah.
Give me a Samus Returns Switch port. I'll definitely take that because I really don't turn my 3DS on anymore at this point.
I already put it downstairs. I put my 3DS away. Finally.
Yeah, like and you know, give me a Super Metroid update in the vein of Metroid Zero Mission, which technically Metroid Zero Mission was a Super Metroid update for Metroid, but you get what I'm saying. You know, speed up that game. Like I love Super Metroid. Super Metroid is one of my favorite games, but speed up that game.
I've already said it's just redo the whole game, like remake the whole game.
Well, I mean, you know, here we talked about this a while back, and it came to my head later, but Metroid Fusion is basically just picked up a beat from Super Metroid, because Super Metroid had that kind of like mystery survival horror aspect to it. Like, you know, you wind up getting dropped in areas where it's absolutely dark and stuff, and and you're like, okay, where am I at? You know, stuff like that. You know,
right.
It had that thing going on, but yeah, those big franchises, yeah, Zelda, Metroid, and that's just me. That's just my Nintendo fan coming out right there. You know, shoot, all the Sony stuff that I love. You know, they've got announcements for, so they say, you know, unless they surprise me. Even though I just saw in the news just recently the Killzone website got taken down, and I was saying on Crossroads last week that it'd be awesome if they actually said, hey, Killzone's coming back for PS5. You know.
I think Resistance is the first-person shooter that's coming back for PS5, personally. Yeah. Just the way Insomniac's been tweeting stuff. Like, plus that would be... I don't know. I feel like that game was... It had... it like the... Well, not like The Order, but like kind of like The Order, where it had a lot of really great ideas, and they just weren't... You know, they just didn't quite get there, you know?
I really feel like Warhawk and SOCOM would be better to come.
I mean, I still think SOCOM's coming as like a free-to-play seasonal style thing to combat Halo's free multiplayer,
and to step on the toes of Call of Duty. I think SOCOM, yes. Warhawk, I don't think so, because we haven't seen a Warhawk title since PS2.
Well, no, Starhawk was like a spiritual successor on PS3.
Wait, Starhawk is okay.
Yeah, I think
still it's PS3 though,
and I think Warhawk was just a fun game when it came out, and Starhawk probably was. I think it just dropped off the radar, and I wonder if people are still looking for it again or willing to give it a chance.
Square, stop playing games that doesn't give us a real sequel to Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions.
Give us a real sequel to Chrono Trigger, because Chrono Cross is garbage.
No.
Chrono Cross is great.
No, here's the thing about
shut your mouth.
Here's the thing I say about Chrono Trigger getting a sequel. Chrono Trigger is like a big time loop, so I feel like the first game technically should have been a one and done, in my opinion.
In Japan,
I love Chrono Trigger too. That's one of my all-time favorite Square Enix RPGs. Well, Square RPGs, you know, if you want to. I just call the whole company Square Enix.
Yeah. There was like a half game that came after Chrono Trigger, like Rainbow something, that came out in Japan that never came here.
Mm-hmm.
But then
we're probably better without it.
And then there was that phone game, like the Cat in Time or something.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember the name of it. And it was by the same writer and director and the composer and all of that. But it was a free to play phone game. I'm like, no, what are you doing? What did they do? I played it for about a minute, and then I wanted to play it on my console. I didn't want to play it on my phone.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know for me, for this question, ARMS 2 for Switch.
No, don't bring that back.
I'm just saying that.
Legs.
SOCOM, I was going to say for PlayStation, and for Xbox, I think Killer Instinct 2 was going to come. Maybe announced.
Maybe I'm the boring gamer, because like I just want the stuff that's already been announced. Yeah. I'm the boring gamer. Maybe I've lost my imagination, and that's crazy because I'm a writer. I've lost my imagination, so here I am sitting up here like,
I mean, the two big things for me on the Nintendo side would probably be like a Mario Kart 9 and no offense to Mario Kart 8, it's a fantastic game, but I've been playing that game for almost 7 years now, right? If you include the Wii U version, like it's
a moneymaker.
I'm so ready for new Mario Kart tracks, and I don't care. Like, if Nintendo had a platform like Xbox Live, Mario Kart would be a platform, and you could just like, it would be free to play, and you would have like season passes and battle passes and cosmetics for all the characters. And like, I don't think Cat Mario, Silver Mario, and Dr. Mario all need to be the different characters on the Mario Kart character select screen, right? Like that's not a thing, right? Like you could have there's so much you could do smartly with that platform to get people involved, make more money than you're making now selling a $60 game. Although I know a lot of people like to go in and buy the carts for Nintendo games, so maybe you sell a $40 bundle that includes the first 2 season passes, or just have like exclusive cosmetics to the physical version or something. But like, Mario Kart as a platform should just be a thing at this point.
I mean, it is. There's Mario Kart Mobile.
Yeah.
You just ruined Mario Kart for me. Thank you. I forgot Mario Kart Tour existed, to be 100% honest with you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The only good Mario Kart game is a Mario Kart game that's in the garbage. I'm sorry.
Double Dash is great still.
Nope.
Did you play Double Dash, LeRon?
Yes. When Double Dash was a thing, I lived with a house full of Nintendo fans, and yeah, we all got together, and I was like, you know what, this is just as much as I remembered it. So screw Mario Party until this recent one came out.
What I'm hearing is that LeRon is not good at Mario Kart.
I'll admit that. I'm not good at Mario Kart, but even people who aren't good at games can still enjoy them, and it's never a fun time for me. So,
some games that I'm hoping will get released or announced or something. For the past few years, I feel like survival horror is making a really big comeback again, like we saw in the late '90s, early 2000s, and then it just kind of died away. And I feel like Resident Evil was even on the ropes there for a while until 7 and all of that kind of redeemed the Resident Evil franchise, because after 5 and 6 and some of the spinoffs, it was hurting. So I would love to see, of course, Silent Hill has been in desperate need of a really good new game. We haven't had one of those in a long time. And then, Parasite Eve, I feel like a lot of fans have really been wanting something from Parasite Eve. It's a lot of people are discovering it, I think, now. And that would be something wonderful. Shadow Hearts is another RPG horror franchise that I think could really make an impact now.
Who did Shadow Heart? Was that Square? No.
That was. I can look real quick.
Was it Midway?
No. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. I loved Shadow Hearts. That first game was amazing. Shadow Hearts was.
Then you have Caldecca, which was the spiritual predecessor on the PlayStation 1. And it was really great. Those can work. And then the other major ones that I can think of would be Dino Crisis. Imagine a Dino Crisis game like Resident Evil 2, 3 remake.
That would be amazing. I'd be all over that.
I know
that'd be harrowing.
Yeah. And then Clock Tower with modern game conventions, because we've had so many games, especially on PC, where you can't attack, or you have very limited attack, and you're hiding from a monster, and you're hiding under the bed and stuff like that. Clock Tower would be wonderful, and as a VR-like game or something on PC. And then Dead Space, of course.
Well, we have
the
Callisto Project.
Yeah, so we have something similar to Dead Space coming out. I'd love to see more of that. That's already been announced, but I think survival horror would be really great right now.
Well, we have. I know The Medium is this month.
The Medium. Yeah.
Do we know if that's survival horror, or is that just some whacked out adventure game?
It looks like it's survival horror mixed adventure. I know there's a new gameplay demo out, but by the looks of it, I just put in the survival horror thing.
There's been some people that worked on the original Silent Hill games that have worked on the Medium. I know that it was that transitioning of the worlds and stuff like that. I think it'll have a little bit of that, but I don't know. I haven't looked at the gameplay. I haven't looked at the demo, so I don't know exactly how much of a survival horror it is, but it's certainly horror, and I like the dual world aspect and talking with the dead and exploring the world of the dead.
Yeah, I guess on the Xbox side of things, they've pretty much laid out everything that they're doing right for now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could go second party like they did with the Battletoads developer and do something with. I would really like to see something with Banjo or Conquer come back personally, but
Yeah.
I mean, they could go some third party route with that, like even with like the Super Lucky's Tale devs or someone like that to maybe, I don't know, maybe have
just
more
breathe life into those
Yeah.
franchises, because they're sitting on a gold mine on all of those old rare franchises. I mean, Battletoads, of course, and Banjo-Kazooie, but then you have like Jet Force Gemini.
right.
You know, imagine that, you know, with like Gears type of gameplay or something. It would work.
Yeah.
You know, it maybe add a little bit more platforming, but it was still...
You could almost make Jet Force Gemini like Vanquish or something.
Yeah, yeah. It could easily be done. You know, and I think you already have the name out there. You already have the backing of Rare. I mean, Rare sells games alone still.
Yeah. I mean, look at Sea of Thieves. Look how big that game has gotten, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing with Jet Force Gemini is who's going to do it, because like I think I asked you, Corey, about that. Like with Rare Games, since a lot of their properties
Get
been
Platinum
going
to do it. Sign a deal with Platinum. I think that would bring goodwill to Platinum and Xbox fans just because of the Scalebound, you know, cancellation. Like I think if Microsoft could somehow strike a deal with Platinum to bring goodwill back to Xbox players who are really enjoy Japanese games, like I think you could get Platinum to do Jet Force Gemini in some sort of vein of Vanquish or something. I think it would be really cool.
That's a concept.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they did also Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Or look at Astral Chain. Look how successful that was. Like Platinum could do a Jet Force Gemini Astral Chain style game too, right? Like I there's so many things you could do with that.
I think there's a fear of, with all of those old series, I think there's a fear of bringing it back and doing it wrong, and killing stabbing a dead franchise at this point.
Yeah, but at this point, I think Microsoft just has to look at their games outside of Gears and Forza. I think anything is on the table where you say, look, we just have to make a good game, and that has to be enough at this point, because I'm tired of people saying this is what Halo should be, and there's like 47 different concepts for Halo. I'm tired of people saying this is what Perfect Dark needs to be, this is what Fable needs to be. Just make a good game in the vein, like make it like, I don't know, make it have little Easter eggs to the old games, but just make them their own thing. It's 2021. It's not 2003 anymore, right? They you know, even older for Rare games. Like, just make a great game. Banjo and Conquer just need to be comedic collectathon platformers that are really solid platformers. They don't need to be Mario quality platformers, especially with Game Pass, right? You can just say, hey, there's a new Conquer game on Game Pass. There's a new Banjo game on Game Pass. Look, we're getting Psychonauts in probably within the next 3 months, right? Like, as long as Psychonauts is good, people are going to appreciate it, that it exists, and play it and have fun with it, right? Like, that's something I've actually been thinking about playing through again, is the first Psychonauts game, because I never finished it, but I loved what I played of it, right?
And
I never finished it either.
I finished Psychonauts. The interest in Banjo definitely on Smash just kind of showcases how that this is still a big property, and Microsoft needs to take advantage of it. I agree with you, Corey.
They already showed what not to do with Banjo, right? With Banjo Nuts and Bolts, right? Like, I like the game. I thought it was fun, but like, nobody wants to build vehicles in a Banjo game, right? That's not what it was. It's you need to have a proper platformer in a big, huge kind of open world, kind of what I imagine the next Banjo-Kazooie game should be is more of like a Jak and Daxter 1 style, almost open world game, instead of you go into these portals, and because we already have that. That was Ukulele, right? And that was wasn't received extremely well. Again, I enjoyed it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's got to be something new and exciting, but still a platformer where you go and collect the puzzle pieces and do certain things. So
yeah, but everybody do play ukulele in the possible layer. That was
so good. It's on Game Pass too. If you have Game Pass, you should download it. It's really good. It's so good. All right, we're gonna move on to our last question because we are kind of running out of time here. Deshaun Malone writes in. He says, "Hey y'all, simple question: what announced games are you looking forward to the most? Thanks for being allies in the fight." He says. So, Deshaun, we love you.
I'm just gonna go with this one game. Disco Elysium coming to Switch. I know it's on PlayStation 5, or it's coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4. I think in March. I think it's coming early. But I want to play it on Switch. I heard a lot of great things for it. And I want to be able to play this game on the go. So I'm just gonna say that one.
No, we mentioned the Medium already, and Resident Evil 8: The Village, and of course Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2. Working title.
The sequel to Breath of the Wild. I had this conversation with someone at work the other day. By the way, side tangent. I hope it's just called The Legend of Zelda: The Sequel to Breath of the Wild on the box.
Right. That's all it needs. That's all it really needs. But also Shin Megami Tensei 5 is another one that I'm day one buy for me. I really love those type of games.
It's Nocturne dropping soon.
It is. And I hate to admit that I've not kept up with it as much as I'd want to, because I have the original right over there. So it's not something like I have to have this now, because I can go ahead and play it. But
I need to watch the direct. I need to see what their dates were.
I think they moved it.
Okay.
I think. Don't hold me to that, but I think they moved it. I think the pandemic just kept going, and they got it. I think it was supposed to come out like late November, and it got pushed to like March.
Right, because Tensei 5 is supposed to be in summer, I think.
Yeah, and so that's another one I'm really hoping that goes really well. I've loved those games before they were cool to like them. Before everyone played Persona.
If they push it to the summer, please just push it to August or September.
Yeah,
with that.
Yeah, I'm always okay with pushing a game back a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for me, it's definitely Zelda. That's the one game that I'm looking forward to the most. Although Horizon 2 is coming, which is going to be just. I love that first game. It definitely has its issues. I mean, I think Breath of the Wild has its issues too. I'm not gonna lie to you there, but Horizon I think is going to be phenomenal. I know God of War is also coming. So
I really want to see what Guerrilla did with their art style for this, because the presentation was really good. So I want to see how more detailed they got.
Well, I think they could do really cool things with that. The machine infection stuff. That I think that's going to change up the kind of. Okay, this is just more of the same. I think that the machine disease that they're showing off it could do a lot for that franchise. So
yeah.
As long as they don't have it released a week or 2 weeks before Breath of the Wild again.
Yeah, right. That killed the first game in terms, I think, of early sales, because it wasn't on my radar. Really, I was like Zelda. I want to play Zelda.
Yeah, it was on mine, but then it's like, it comes out 2 weeks before Zelda. I'm like, well, I'm getting a new console in Zelda, and like a week and a half after this, I'm not playing this. I got it right. Like I got the collector's edition.
I'm really glad it didn't get lost and kind of, because it could have easily just ended up being this kind of unheard of game, and it didn't. But it was delayed. Mm-hmm. It's a delayed reaction of fans, I feel like.
Yeah. And now people are playing it on PC.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
But just two more kind of quick things. Halo. I think I'm really excited for Halo, and then I'm not excited yet, but I'm really interested to see what the initiative does with Perfect Dark. So
yeah. You did we get a more of a trailer or gameplay something for summer?
No,
During the summer?
no. I don't think that game is so far out, and Fable is really far out. So
Look at Josh.
I know. Josh heard Halo, so he's coming out of the woodwork. Hi, Josh.
I'm an idiot because for the last question, I'm waiting for a Monster Hunter 6 announcement. I'm waiting for a Monster Hunter 6 announcement. But as far
technically, some leakers already announced that for you there, LeRon.
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, a 6 and a 7 are a 6 is coming, and a PC version of Rise is coming, which I actually find that believable because I looked at I was watching the direct for that, and I was like, this looks too next gen to be running off of Switch hardware.
Yeah, you was talking about it.
Yeah, it looked too next gen because of course when I got the demo, of course I was peeling that demo apart. I was like, okay, this don't look like what I saw in the direct.
Yeah, I was looking at the demo. I'm like, this just looks like Monster Hunter Generations. I'm like, this
with a slightly different skin.
Yeah, I'm like, it looks
better.
It looks better, but I'm like,
it looks better. Yeah,
it reminds me of that. I'm like,
Yeah. But as far as like the announced games, like the one. I'm only bringing one to this, and that's the Callisto Protocol. I mean, when you tell me they got the band back together from Dead Space to do this, that's all you had to say to me. It's like, man, they could have made the next Mario Kart, and I would have got that.
Wow.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it being set in the PUBG universe?
That's kind of weird, but whatever. That's kind of weird.
He's like,
I guess
I'm really excited until I see someone with a frying pan helmet and
trying to whack some alien.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man. Does anybody else have anything to add to this question?
Jacob.
Just Monster Hunter Rise, man.
Yeah,
I'm excited for Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Breath of the Wild, Metroid Prime 4. I'm hesitant to say them though, because I want them to come out this year, but I also don't want to just like have my hopes up all year and then be like, oh, this was a terrible year.
Yeah.
I think
You
they
have to
have
do that.
one more. I think they have one more year of development for that.
I think Metroid's at least a year and a half away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a Metroid fan, I've gotten used to like it being 8 or 9 years before a sequel comes out. I've gotten used to that.
I think this year. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just sending you around. I was just like Prime, like Call of Duty, Battlefield, like getting all of those people. I don't know what Prime 4 is going to be, so I think that's why that delay is because you got some heavy names attached to it. Who knows first-person shooters? So this is going to be a whole different kind of Prime game.
It would be cool, like thinking about that because we could actually get a more faster action orientated Metroid Prime game. Not saying that they need to change to that style, but just the fact because that was one of my major gripes about playing the original Metroid Prime. And also I wasn't really into first person games back then. I'm technically not now, but Cyberpunk has helped me come around to that. But if Metroid Prime, the original one, had a faster pace and didn't feel all clunky, I think I would have enjoyed it a little bit better.
And definitely for a new take on Metroid, from retro, but it's still a beautiful world, man. On GameCube.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Jacob.
I'll tell you what I'd love to see. I'd love to see them take Metroid Prime 4 and make it just the best shooter that it could be. But I'd love them to go a little bit of a Halo route and give us like a Metroid Prime. Well, so maybe not. Because I'd like for them to give us a Metroid Prime ODST style thing where they do the Federation Force and you play a side campaign as the Federation Force through the Metroid Prime like games.
I'm still on the train that Metroid Prime 4 has like this Metroid Prime campaign, right? Where like you play Metroid Prime as Samus, whatever, but they add the multiplayer thing on, similar to what Ghost of Tsushima did, where like they just had that add-on where Metroid Prime Federation Force 2 is going to be shoved in there. It's going to be in there. I'm still a Metroid Prime Federation Force defender, even though it was on the wrong platform, right? Like it has the potential to be something better and bigger and more than what it was, right? Like I really believe that.
And Nintendo needs a multiplayer first person shooter. They have Splatoon as a shooter, but that's not really a shooter. But like, there's no reason why there can't be hundreds of different outfitted Samuses running around like there are with Master Chiefs. There's no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why when you said that, the first thing I thought about was that SpongeBob meme where it's like, "Don't tell me what to do." Like that's Nintendo right now. Don't tell me what to do.
There's no reason for it. Just give your Samus a customizable armor set and send them out there like Halo, like Call of Duty. It doesn't matter.
Depending on how Nintendo's going to be thinking about the Japanese market, America really has to come through for that to happen. They really got to come through. They have to outsell pretty much UK and Japan.
I don't think that's it.
No.
Only reason because Metroid's not big in Japan.
Metroid's not big anywhere. That's the problem. It's only for
apparently, Metroid is about as niche as freaking Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I thought it was big here.
No, it's not.
No, Metroid's niche still. The only reason why Metroid has some popularity with a certain crowd in the United States is because Zero Suit Samus happened. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, here's the thing. Metroid has had. Let me see how many games has it had. It's had what, 14 or 15 games in the series.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Since its inception, it has sold 17.44 million copies in almost 40 years. That's nothing.
That's the lowest selling first party Nintendo franchise, I believe. That has to
Kid
be
Icarus.
Kid Icarus. I don't consider. Kid Icarus
I would say in like the pop
until they have 3 or 4 games.
The grand scheme of popularity, plus as long as it's been around, that's like it's nothing.
But it's so weird for it to be that low and everybody still considers Metroid as an iconic game.
It is
iconic. The impact of the very first Metroid game, is
Super Metroid too.
Yeah,
but I mean, yeah, I think Metroid needs that sort of Western appeal, make it more first-person shooter-y, Halo-y, multiplayer suite type thing. I don't think it needs to have Federation Force in it, right? Like I think it could just have a basic multiplayer thing where you get to create your own bounty hunter and have special armor abilities or whatever, but like I don't know, it needs something. But I'm excited. I think we'll get something Metroid this year though, by the way. Like I think we'll get either like a 2D game or the HD trilogy will finally come. It won't be Metroid Prime 4 this year.
Yeah. That's what I said with them getting all that talent and them moving into a new space and building it. Yeah.
It's
I
funny.
think it's gonna be a while.
Josh in chat says Metroid on Switch practically guarantees it'll be the best-selling modern Metroid game. Which he's not wrong.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
But I think that's gonna do it, gentlemen. Block, thank you for joining us here today. I hope
it's been my pleasure.
I hope you join us more often.
Thank you. If you'll have me, I'll be here.
On anything you want. Nintendo Pow Block they record on Monday nights, so you seem like a huge Nintendo fan, so you're welcome on anything.
Games.
Yeah, you're welcome on anything we do. So you want to tell people where they can find you and what you do and everything on YouTube and stuff?
So I'm primarily on YouTube. I have a few series going on right now. Mainly I do Treasure, which is looking at lesser known games and just a look at the history. I use my history background of looking at the development of a game and seeing just why didn't it sell that well or what happened. I like that part of it. And then I'm doing Role Player's Realm, which I look at. I review it as an RPG game. I'll look at classic RPGs like the Suikoden series. I'm going to be doing the entire Final Fantasy franchise next year, but I'm working on that now, of looking at every single one of them, including remakes and ports and even like Tactics and Chocobo's Dungeon and all of those, and analyzing them, breaking those down. But that's still a year out. But you can look at that at Block's Gaming Reviews on YouTube. And occasionally I'm on Twitch. It's been rough this past year with my infant child running around, so I don't get as much time as I'd like, but I'm hoping to do some more on Twitch. Again, that's twitch.tv/BluxGamingReviews, and I'm on Twitter.
Nice. Well, again, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to, do this with us.
Well, thank you.
His YouTube channel is now in the Twitch chat. It'll be in the show notes of the podcast. So go subscribe. Have a good time. Thanks for joining us, Jacob. Where can we find you?
You can find me everywhere at Galutrad, Galutrad. I'm currently playing through Immortals Phoenix Rising, and tonight, because it's Saturday, I do community game night. So we're going to be playing Among Us, and then possibly late into the evening, some Smash Brothers, and maybe even some Mario Kart, just see where it goes. But definitely going to be playing some Among Us. Catch me on Twitch. I stream every Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., and then on Saturdays as well. That's Central Standard Time. And on March 26th, I will be a full-time Monster Hunter streamer with Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch. I did want to shout it out because I don't like to shout out stuff that I'm not fully done with, but I know this is already in the works. I'm going to be doing another 24-hour live stream on the 27th, and I'm going to be giving away a copy of Monster Hunter Rise during that live stream.
Very nice.
So in other words, I need to be on your stream that night because I haven't pre-ordered my copy yet.
yeah, absolutely.
I can already hear like the collusion, like freaking like rants,
Favoritism. No. But we're actually going to be doing something a little unique with it. It's going to be me and two of my best buds. We're going to be hunting 24 hours together from sometime to sometime on the 27th. I haven't decided if we're going to start like at midnight on the 27th and go till the 28th at midnight. But it's the three of us, and we're going to be slotting in viewers to come in and hunt with us as well. Okay. So if there's anything you want to hunt, get in with us, and we will carry you through it, or you can carry us depending on how good you are. So.
All right. Please remind me the night.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Nice. LeRon.
All right, you can catch me on social media at Exodus803. That's EXODUS803. It's also my gamer tag, so the various different consoles that I play on. You can find me there, up to and including Steam. And also, I am one of the hosts of the Crossroads PlayStation Show from Boss Rush Games. We are on every Tuesday night, pretty much at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We had to make a slight change to our time slot because one of our guys actually has to be rested and ready for work the next morning, so we had to make a slight change. So yeah, that's a new time slot for us. And you can find us Tuesday nights on twitch.tv/Exodus803.
Nice. Ed?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode. You can check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud, iTunes, other podcast apps. You can also check out Recap here on Boss Rush Podcast Expansion Pass. You can check out Talk the Walk. That will be coming out with a new episode real soon. And then if you guys want to follow me on Twitch, I'm at the Lyrical One. My Switch, my Xbox, and PSN is all on my Twitter page. And check out World 11 Podcast. Last but not least, I do have a new blog up called Being Better, so I do hope you guys go and read it on bossrushgames.com.
Nice. You can find me at I am Corey HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast, Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast, sometimes on Nintendo Power Block, and sometimes on Crossroads, and sometimes everywhere else.
Yes, Nintendo Power Block on Mondays, everybody.
Yeah, it is. You can find me streaming here. I'm going to try to stream tonight, actually, a little bit. So I'm going to try to stream that new Destiny mission, I think. So you can find me streaming here on Boss Rush Games Live when shows aren't going on. I'm trying to not stream during podcast times. So, yeah. I want to thank everybody so much for watching. Block, thanks again for joining us. And
thank you.
Remember, everybody, it costs nothing to be nice to each other. So be better, and we will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.